Hello everyone, it is I, the Dark Star Lord of Starlight Shadow Games, and a couple days ago was Halloween! So I decided that in the light of the Halloween spirit, I would make a bit of a scary story based off a dream I had a couple of years ago. And so here it is. Hope you all enjoy. It was a time when a popular Five Nights at Freddy's fan game was getting a sequel. The name of this fan game was Five Nights at Candy's, and it was soon going to get its second installment. And so I decided that I would play the game through again, mainly because my computer crashed and I lost all my save data on that game. So everything went as I thought it would. Me, as Mary Schmidt, managed to get through the first night, which wasn't very hard, but during the first night cutscene, I looked away from the left spot multiple times, and the alternate puppet that I referred to as Sorrow back then never appeared, even though he was supposed to whenever you looked in the opposite direction. I was confused, but then I looked over to the right. Suddenly, Candy and Cindy were sitting there like on the cutscene of the fourth night. Confused, I looked back to see what was happening on the left side, and I saw an image used when Sorrow jump scares you, but he was just standing there, staring at me. A couple seconds later, the camera cut off, and I saw the error code used at the beginning of the second night cutscene for about a second. This wouldn't be very threatening on its own, but that image itself uses a hex code that was one digit off from being the color purple guy from Fnaf 2, which I guess just made it a little unsettling. I started the next night, but halfway through the message, the phone guy was interrupted by me looking at the show stage and seeing the rare occurrence of the black cat staring at me from on the stage. When I put the camera down, I saw him in the window, and the sound he made muted the call of the phone guy. Now, this didn't bother me, because I already knew of the existence of Shadow Candy and just how he worked if you saw him. I was just surprised that I saw him at all, because I've always had the worst of luck when it comes to seeing RNG-generated secrets in this kind of game. So I played along as normal until 3 a.m. I was just watching the cameras because I had nothing better to do while the cat couple and their friend Chester wandered around aimlessly, but for a while I looked at the camera and then it immediately shut off my night vision. But I swore I saw a rat in that room before it shut down. This creeped the ever-loving heck out of me because I know for a fact that rat does not appear until night 6. But then I didn't see him until I checked the door camera, and I freaked out. I put the camera down and looked to the left door, but I didn't see the blue box that you see when an eyelightless animatronic is at the door, and when I looked at the camera again, he was gone. I was freaking out, and so I closed both the doors, but the doors were suddenly taking whole segments of power out at a time, and within the next 5 seconds, the power was completely drained. But then, only a few seconds after the power went out in game, the power went out in real life. And my computer promptly shut down due to it not accepting a charge and therefore running out as soon as the power went out. I spent the rest of the day trying to entertain myself without the power, but by the time it was nighttime, the power was still not back on. So I and my family all went to sleep in the basement, because that was the most insulated. And so I was sleeping in a dark basement, which the only visible light was one night light in the bathroom next to it. But then I couldn't quite tell if I was dreaming or not, but I woke up because I heard something. It was a music box. It was the music box playing the same tune as randomly plays for ambience in Five Nights at Candy's, which absolutely terrified me simply because I haven't ever heard that kind of thing anywhere in any other Five Nights at Freddy's game. So it was scary because it was unique. Once I finally realized what it was, I opened my eyes and looked around, and once my vision unblurred, I saw her. Cindy was staring right there, and one of her eyes was covered in shadow, allowing the glowing pupils to shine through. Sweet mother of Mekazan, I thought. I looked to my sides, hoping to find my parents that were sleeping next to me on the bed, but neither of them were there. When I looked back at Cindy, suddenly both of her eyes were covered in shadow, but now the glowing pupils had a strange shape to them that I recognized as the eyes in the Shadow Cat and the Reverse Puppet. I knew that if I were to look away and look back again now, her teeth would likely be glowing, completing the transformation into Shadow Candy. So I just hid under the covers and didn't come out. I woke up the next morning and everything was as it should be. I walked up the stairs and saw that the power was back on and my dad was watching the weather. I decided to hop on my computer and check YouTube, but when I opened it up, there was a file on the desktop. I opened it up and it was an image. The image was a drawing of Cindy, one with an art style that looked very similar to my own, but kind of evolved, in a sense. 'Cause back then I didn't exactly know how to draw a feminine body. But then, in purple letters, and a font called Sego script, it just said, "Don't be scared. I won't hurt you. You can thank Angel for that."